Ummul Kitab. Al-Fatihah. Okay, this is what we are going to cover. All right, hold on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cover topic 8, loading and shipping. And then all the way with the process starts with sorting and then route planning and what is the order prioritization, and finally the process of loading and shipping. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, sorting is a system of properly categorizing a warehouse item by its characteristics and assigning an appropriate storage location based on those characteristics along with methodical record keeping. Right, so sorting ni adalah proses proses yang mana sistem yang mengkategorikan barang-barang kat dalam warehouse tu mengikut dia punya ciri-ciri. Alright, and then assigning an appropriate location. Kemudian bila menggunakan kita punya warehouse management system tu, dia akan meletakkan, dia akan pilihkanlah tempat yang sesuai untuk kita letakkan barang-barang ni. Macam mana sesuai ke tidak tempat tu, dia berdasarkan ciri-ciri produk tu lah. So mungkin you tengok kat sini, you can see here, this is the automated guided vehicle. Alright, they use this warehouse management system. They are using all this material handling equipment to carry the item and then to store the item. Okay, dia nak angkut barang-barang yang dia nak simpan, kemudian dalam masa yang sama dia nak letakkan kat mana tempat yang sesuai lah. So how do we locate the item is according to the methodical record keeping. Based on the record keeping, ada dia punya kaedah-kaedah dia lah. Alright, now ladies and gentlemen, the sorting system method uses an automatic material handling system consisting of multiple conveyor and a number of sorting devices. Okay, sistem yang dia asingkan ni adalah kaedah yang menggunakan, selalunya lah kita gunakan automatic material handling system. Alright, sistem pengurusan barang yang secara automatik ni, dia mengandungi beberapa conveyor dan juga beberapa alat yang kita gunakan lah untuk asingkan barang-barang ni. The items are placed on a conveyor in the storage area and they are sorted for each particular order. Alright, so the system, where do we get the system? From the warehouse management system lah. Alright, from there on, they have a sorting system, and from there on, the system will assist us in terms of where to locate the item, where to put the product. Alright, next. So this is the layout. How does it look like? So this is where the conveyor is moving, and then a few workers are dealing with the item, how they do the sorting. All right. Then the guy over here is using the forklift, the handling equipment. All right. The other guy here is packing boxes, a storage. All right, to store the item. All right. And you can also see some of the processes of sorting, mengasingkan barang-barang ni. Alright, next. Routing is the process of finding the most efficient way to visit a set of stops. Okay, ni kita kata pengiriman data. Alright, routing. Alright, so kat sini lah yang mana berlaku proses kita nak laksanakan beberapa siri, berapa kali nak stop barang-barang ni. Alright, so berapa kali nak stop tu bergantung kepada macam mana barang tersebut lah. Kita nak susun atur dia ikut macam mana design barang tu, ciri-ciri dia. Alright. Scheduling ni adalah penjadualan ya. Scheduling is the process of arranging stocks in the best possible order while accounting for factors such as traffic patterns and customer availability. Alright, bila kita buat scheduling, penjadualan ni, alright, dia proses untuk kita susun atur berapa kali nak stop dan ikut berapa kali dia punya susunan lah. Termasuk juga kita nak kena ambil kira traffic pattern dan juga customer availability. Okay, kalau lah customer tu kata, okay, you have to reach my area by noon, or we only available during morning hours. So how do you plan? How do you do the scheduling? Yeah. Alright, now we look into what are the objectives of routing and scheduling. Macam mana dia punya objektif utama ni, apa yang kita nak capai dalam proses routing scheduling ni. The main objective of both routing and route scheduling is to cut down on your expenses, such as mileage and vehicle capital cost. Ini adalah objektif utama dia ya. Bila kita buat routing and scheduling ni, kita nak mengurangkan kita punya belanja. Kita nak optimizekan kita punya mileage. Kita nak optimizekan penggunaan vehicle kita. Alright, that's why kita kena plan berapa banyak kali kena stop, laluan mana yang tak ada traffic yang berat sangat. Alright, so laluan mana yang kurang congestion, contoh macam itulah. So but other objectives come into play as well, dan ada juga beberapa objektif lain yang mungkin kita kena pertimbangkan. For example, in school bus routing and route scheduling, the objective could be to minimize the total number of student minutes on the bus. Okay, contoh kalau dalam kes bas sekolah. Saya tak tahu awak semua pernah naik bas sekolah ke tak, masa kita sekolah dulu. Alright, so kita tengok driver tu kat mana laluan yang paling pantas, kat mana laluan yang dia nak ambil pelajar-pelajar ni yang naik bas tu, kat mana laluan yang paling banyak pelajar naik, dan sekolah mana yang kena berhenti dulu sebab sekolah tu yang paling ramai pelajar. These are the thing that have to be considered, yeah. Alright, what is route planning and logistics? Macam mana pula perancangan laluan ni dekat dalam bidang logistics ni, okay? So route planning is an important part of supply chain management related to both procurement and distribution. Okay, perancangan laluan ni adalah sebahagian yang sangat penting dalam pengurusan rantaian bekalan. Sebab apa? Dia melibatkan perolehan dan juga pengedaran. Ya, kita peroleh barang, kita nak edarkan barang-barang. So kita kena buat perancangan yang betul. Alright. Route planning systems specify the sequences in which the selected transport vehicles should supply the demand points by requested quantities of goods at the right time. Okay, bila kita buat perancangan laluan ni tadi adalah sistem yang mana dia akan menentukan sequence dia punya susun atur dia lah. Okay, siri dia macam mana. In which the selected transport vehicles should supply the demand points. Yang mana bila kita ada perancangan, sistem perancangan laluan ni, dia akan menentukan, okay, kat mana demand point yang paling banyak kuantiti pada satu-satu masa. Alright. So kita mulakan laluan yang kuantiti paling banyak, kurang banyak dan yang paling sedikit lah. Okay, that's how we do the route planning. So we start by allocating which area have the highest demand, the medium demand and the slowest demand lah. Alright. And then why is route planning is important? Kenapa perancangan laluan ni penting? All in all, route planners cut transportation costs, providing you with a more flexible budget, help you get to your customers more efficiently and on time, and increase the number of destinations you can reach in a day, effectively saving your business time and money on the road. Okay, kenapa perancangan laluan ni penting? Sebab, okay, bila kita katakan perancangan laluan ni tadi, okay, all these route planner, perancang-perancang laluan ni tadi, dia akan mengurangkan, kurangkan kos pengangkutan. Bila kita dapat kurangkan kos pengangkutan, dia akan membekalkan kita lebih bajet yang lebih fleksibel, dan kita boleh pergi kepada customer kita dengan lebih cekap dan pada masa dia. Alright. Dan juga bila kita buat benda ni dengan cekap, alright, kita boleh tingkatkan jumlah destinasi yang kita boleh pergi dalam satu hari. Alright. Dan juga ianya akan memberikan kesan terhadap kita boleh jimatkan masa perniagaan, dan juga kita boleh jimatkan duit lah semasa dalam perjalanan. Alright. So that is why the route planning is important, because number one, when you become the transport planner, or you become the route planner in a company, in your own company, in logistics company, in whatever area lah, all right, you have to plan to cut down the transportation costs. When you manage to cut down the transportation costs, you might have more flexible budget. So this is where you can increase efficiency to your customer. The product can be delivered on time, and then the benefit would be we will be able to increase the number of stops, the number of destination that we can reach in a day. Let's say you are in Kuala Lumpur. You know, KL is a big city. You have to really plan your schedule, because you don't want to be caught in a traffic jam. When you are caught in a traffic jam, that is a big loss. You lost time. You lost your energy. You burn more fuel. All right. Your worker will become more fatigue, cepat penat, cepat letih. Alright. Bazir masa atas jalan, pakai minyak banyak, so rugi masa. So these are the thing, yeah. So that is why when you have the route planner, they have to identify which road that you wanna utilize. Okay, which road has less traffic jam. All roads face traffic jam, but which one have lesser traffic congestion? Okay, which road is less costly? Sebab jalan-jalan ni ada kena bayar tol, ada kena bayar tol mahal, kena bayar tol kurang. So jalan mana yang paling kurang tol dia? Jalan mana yang paling kurang sesak? Jalan mana yang paling banyak customer? Jalan mana yang kita boleh pendekkan masa perjalanan? So this is all very important. Okay, next. So why is a route planner helpful? Optimize your stops to spend less time on the road, stay informed on traffic and road condition, save your scheduled route for future use, access your customer information on the go. All right, so this is why route planner is very helpful. All right, so now you have a lot of device to help you. Ada, you boleh guna Waze, you boleh guna Google Map, you boleh guna macam-macam lah cara, application macam-macam sekarang ni ada untuk membantu kita mempertingkatkan kita punya kecekapan. Increase your efficiency, right? At the same time, when you increase your efficiency, you may reduce the working time. Okay, you may reduce the petrol. You reduce time. You increase customer satisfaction. This is very important. Yeah. All right. So this is why route planner is very, very helpful. Next. All right. So this is the movement. Okay, from point A to point B. So the route planner will identify which road is the most efficient. Okay, lesser congestion. Okay, the fastest road that you can reach from one point to another. All right, so this is the truck that they use lah. Okay. Okay, next. With routing requirement of companies becoming more complex, it is of prime importance that companies choose the route optimization software according to save fuel costs, reduce overtime costs, and minimizing human dependency. Alright, so kita tengok the real-time consideration and traffic consideration. We look into order vehicle constraint. We look into how accurate geocoding. Alright, what about the historical data inspection? And then what about rider preference consideration? How you come up with the change management? alright, the analytics and report management, and finally the dynamic route planning, alright. So that is why routing and scheduling is very, very important. Next, loading and shipping. Okay, loading ni kita letak barang dalam kita punya container ataupun vehicle kita. Shipping nak kita hantar kepada barang tu kepada customer. Shipping is the final warehouse process and one of the most important one for that matter. While customer experience greatly depend on the shipping process, the process itself depends on the preceding processes to varied extents. How efficiently the goods are picked greatly depends on the put away process, while delivering them in good condition depends on the packing process. Alright. So shipping ni adalah proses di gudang yang paling akhir dan yang paling penting. Sebab apa? Kita nak pastikan barang tu yang dipesan oleh pelanggan tu, barang tu selamat sampai. So bila kita bercakap tentang pengalaman customer ni tadi, sangat-sangat bergantung kepada proses penghantaran ni lah tadi. Proses yang mana bergantung kepada proses-proses sebelumnya tadi. Alright. So how efficiently the goods are picked greatly depends on the put away process. Okay, secekap mana barang tersebut diambil sangat-sangat bergantung semasa proses put away ni. Kemudian deliver, okay, kita hantar dalam keadaan yang bergantung kepada macam mana kita buat proses packing ni tadi. Kita bungkus dia macam mana, penghantaran dia macam mana. Jadi semua ni sangat berkait rapat. Okay. The shipping process. Here, you take the final measures to assign the transit mode and prepare shipment orders accordingly. Number one, weighing and dimensioning. Okay, kita nak ukur, kita nak timbang dan juga kita nak tengok dia punya dimensi dia lah. For some warehouses and distribution centers, the next thing is to measure weight and dimension. In the case of parcels, whether they are single item or consolidated carton, some warehouses or distribution centers are required to record the weight and dimension on the label. Okey, untuk sesetengah gudang ataupun pusat pengedaran ya, perkara yang penting untuk kita lakukan adalah untuk kita buat pengukuran dari segi dia punya berat dan juga dari segi dimensi dia. Sebab dimensi ni kita nak tahu berapa tinggi kotak, berapa lebar kotak, berapa panjang kotak dia supaya kita boleh aturkan kita nak pakai vehicle yang macam mana nak hantar barang ni. Alright, boleh pakai van kecil ke, boleh pakai lori 1 tan ke, kena pakai lori 3 tan ke. So that's why the dimension is very important. The weight also is very important. In the case of parcels, whether they are single item or consolidated carton, some warehouse or distribution center are required to record the weight and dimension on the label. So untuk barang-barang alright, sama ada barang-barang tu single ke ataupun dia ada berkata-kata, berkotak-kotak, okay, jadi warehouse ni dia memerlukan untuk kita record, okay. So that's why ada dalam stiker kalau you pesan barang-barang ke apa, kat depan tu ada stiker. Dia bagi tahu dia punya dimension, berapa tinggi, berapa panjang, berapa lebar, berapa berat dia. Supaya kita tahu bila kita scan je barcode ni tadi, kita tahu barang ni what mode of transportation is required. Boleh hantar dengan motor ke? Boleh hantar dengan van ke? Perlu pakai lori 1 tan ke? Perlu pakai lori 3 tan ke? Alright. So when you have all the information, then it gives you an idea what is the best possible vehicle to ship your item. Alright. Next is documentation. Okay, pendokumentasian. Alright, apa dokumen-dokumen yang terlibat? Apa borang-borang yang terlibat? In the absence of mandatory documentation, which will vary in each case, shipments can be stalled. Depending on the nature of shipment, here are a few documents that you may need. Okay, you might need a cargo document, export license, shipment label, inspection certificate, bill of lading, insurance certificate, certificate of origin, invoice, advance shipping notice, and export declaration from shipper. Okay, so ini adalah dokumen-dokumen atau borang-borang yang diperlukan. Okay, so bergantung kepada bagaimana bentuk pengangkutan ni, kita nak hantar ni barang-barang ni tadi, beberapa dokumen yang kita mungkin perlukan. Kalaulah barang-barang tu datang daripada China, for example, daripada negara tanah besar China. Okey, dia perlukan dokumen kargo, dia perlukan export license. Tengok jugalah produk tu macam mana. Kemudian shipment labels. Kemudian perlukan inspection certificate, yang mana inspection certificate ni mungkin pihak berkuasa di pihak negara China. Kemudian dah sampai ke Malaysia, pihak berkuasa Malaysia. Itu yang kita berurusan dengan custom, berurusan dengan immigration, alright. So tengok apa jenis barang, okay. And then bill of lading, insurance. Kadang-kadang kita perlukan insurance juga untuk barang-barang ni. Contoh, awak order kereta daripada UK nak bawa balik ke Malaysia. So kalau daripada perjalanan tu pakai kapal laut, jadi nak kena ada insurance. Okay, insurance certificate tu kena ada. Kemudian nak kena tahu daripada mana negara kereta tu tadi. Katalah kereta tu Mercedes daripada Germany. Alright, so we need to have the certificate of origin. So kita tahu barang ni datang daripada Germany. Alright, so the invoice. So from the invoice we have the information. Let's say tadi kita kata kereta kan, so we know this Mercedes, what is the brand, alright, what is the series, alright, the engine capacity, the year made, alright, so all the information required lah, diesel ke petrol ke, because this will indicate, it will reflect to the tax that will be imposed, yeah. Alright, and then the advance shipping notice and export declaration. So ada tak deklarasi ataupun borang yang menyatakan bahawa kereta ni tadi diimport daripada Germany. Okay, so that there is the processes involved lah. Next, the loading. Alright, macam mana proses loading ni pula? The basis for an efficient loading process is a well-planned load strategy, either through standardization of cargo or a warehouse management system that can produce a loading guide for shipping. Personnel must have clear loading instruction on how to properly load the cargo. Macam ni kita nak masukkan barang ni ke dalam kargo ni tadi. It is recommended to rely on the warehouse management system to produce such guides because they often take into consideration package constraints and characteristics such as weight, dimension, hazmat, fragility, and more. Alright, kita kena mengambil pertimbangan terhadap cabaran ataupun ciri-ciri barang ni tadi, terutama dari segi dia punya berat, dia punya dimensi, hazmat. Hazmat ni daripada perkataan hazardous material. Adakah barang yang kita nak hantar ni tadi barang-barang yang berbahaya ataupun barang-barang yang boleh mendatangkan risiko kecederaan ataupun fragility. Dia mudah pecah, mudah koyak, mudah rosak kan, fragility and more, dan apa-apa benda lain lah. Alright, we'll take a break for azan for Zuhur in 10 minutes, yeah? Alright, so we will continue after this. Hello guys, can you see the slides?
Yes, doctor, can see.
Boleh Alright, good. Okay, now we will continue. Alright, thank you for your response just now. Alright, so loading, okay. So the basis for an efficient loading process is a well-planned load strategy. Okay, asas kepada proses loading yang cekap ni adalah bergantung kepada alright strategi yang kita dah rancang dengan baik lah. Strategi loading yang kita dah rancang dengan baik. So either through standardization of cargo or a WMS that can produce a loading guide for shipping, personnel must have clear loading instructions on how to properly load the cargo. Either using standardization of cargo. All right, so when you deal with cargo, when you deal with item that you want to ship, all right, so they have their own standard operating procedures. Or you can also get advice from your warehouse management system, all right? Because they will give you some guidance, they will give you some instruction, they will give you what are the steps for the shipping process. So personnel here, it means that you guys lah. So people who are working with the warehouse, people who are involved in the shipping processes. So they must have a clear loading instruction. They must have a good understanding on the processes. What are the steps, all right? On how to properly load the cargo. macam mana cara nak kita masukkan barang ni ke dalam kargo. Okey, apa cara dia, macam mana dia punya pengukuran. Alright, contoh kalau kita nak bawa kereta daripada Amerika ataupun daripada United Kingdom nak bawa balik ke Malaysia. Alright, so the process, the document is one thing yang macam kita bincang tadi. What are the document involved? But on the practical side, alright, macam mana cara nak masukkan kereta tu ke dalam kontena, berapa lama proses daripada rumah kita nak pergi ke pelabuhan, ke port, alright. Kemudian daripada port tu nak hantar sebelum sampai ke port tu, kereta tu nak dihantar ke kontena, and then daripada kontena nak naik ke dalam kapal, and then daripada kapal gerak daripada UK sampai ke Malaysia, sampai ke Port Klang, alright, daripada Port Klang nak hantar ke Sintok. So berapa lama proses semua tu? Berapa lama masa yang diambil? Alright, berapa hari? Sebulan, 30 hari, 40 hari. Alright, jadi kena tahu proses tu. Sebab apa? Dalam tu kita ada banyak detail yang kita kena tahulah sebabnya. Alright, kita kena tahu lagi lama kereta tu ada kat dalam kargo, dalam kontena, alright, kita nak kena tahu apa dia punya temperature yang sesuai, tekanan tayar dia macam mana. Alright, so itu antara. Saya pernah ada pengalaman I used to have an experience, alright. So at that time my father bring in kereta daripada Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, hantar ke Kuala Lumpur, hantar ke Port Klang lah. At that time, no. That one, the story is like this. We transport the car by air menggunakan kargo, Malaysia Airlines cargo, mass cargo. Alright. So kereta tu hantar daripada airport Kota Kinabalu, hantar ke airport, masa tu airport Subang. Alright, airport KLIA tu tak siap lagi. Alright. See how old I am. Alright. So from that point of time, alright, bila kereta tu sampai, okay, dia tekanan tayar, yelah kalau naik kapal terbang lagi lah, kena hati-hati dengan berat dia. So we have to declare, the weight of the car, alright, what are the items involved inside the car, alright, the temperature, the pressure of the tire, alright. So these are things that need to be considered. Alright, and then the process involved, alright. So, and then how long will it take the moment the car landed in Subang, in Subang Airport, alright. They straight away put into the airport warehouse, alright. So, how fast can we retrieve the car, alright. So, what are the equipment involved, alright. So, a lot of things to be considered lah, yeah, okay. So, that is why it is recommended to rely on the warehouse management system to produce such guides, because they often take into consideration package constraint and characteristics such as weight, dimension, hazmat, fragility, and more. Okay, and then shipping process best practices. Ensure that picking and documentation are done well in advance of the time of shipping. Ni kita nak pastikan masa kita nak ambil dan juga proses dokumentasi ni dilaksanakan lebih awal sebelum kita melakukan proses penghantaran lah. Okay. Schedule receiving and shipping in different shifts, morning to evening. So kita kena rancang penerimaan dan penghantaran ni mengikut shift masa yang berbeza-beza lah. So see here, from export custom clearance to import custom clearance. So this is the process, the shipper, the export haulage, the origin of the warehouse, origin of handling, and then origin port, and then on the ocean freight, how long does it take? And then when the product arrive at the cargo arrive at the destination port, and then how long does it take from the destination handling, all right? So the cargo will be transported to the distribution warehouse, and then from the destination warehouse, it will be sent to the import haulage, and then sent to the consignment, and then go to the warehouse again, and then sent back to the to the customer lah. All right. So so people who are involved in this, they have to be very careful, because you are dealing with a lot of regulation, a lot of documentation. You are dealing with different countries, different standard operating procedures. All right, different custom form, the custom clearance, and then a lot of things to be considered. That's why when you deal with this so-called international business, you must have the knowledge. You must have gone through a proper training, yeah, on how to do this. Yeah. Next, all right. So this is the process of loading. So from the forklift, we load the item into the cargo, into the container. All right. So this is the process, and then this is the sea freight. See how big is the ship, contains all the container here. All right. So and then that's why timing is very important. All right. So all right, that's all. Thank you very much. Any question? I'm sorry that the somehow just now the slides got stuck. So let me show you again. All right, loading and shipping. Right, the sorting system, and then how they do the sorting. And then this is how it looks like in a warehouse, in the distribution center. We have the conveyor belt, we have the pallet, all right, and then people are very busy with the packaging process, sorting process. People with the uh, we call it material handling equipment, or you use your forklift, or you use what kind of vehicle lah to assist the sorting process. And then the importance of routing and scheduling, right? So why route planner is very helpful. All right, I would say that route planner is not only important when you are in the logistics, but also it is important when you are at work later on. Yeah, depending on what type of job that that you are doing. All right, so you must have a very careful process, because let's say you are living in a big city like Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, so you have to understand the traffic congestion. You have to understand which highway that you need to capitalize. All right, which road have less toll. All right, which road have less traffic congestion. All right, and then how to plan your efficiency. All right, so this is very important. All right, you know, it is just an issue to move from one point to another, but along the way there are a lot of things that need to be considered. All right, so you must have your routing software to assist you, and then your people must really understand the shipping process in terms of weighing dimension, in terms of the documentation, in terms of the loading, and then what are the processes involved. All right, and then what are the SOP and things like that. All right, that's all. Thank you very much. Any question? Hello. Okay. Now you ask me, Chow Po Kwan. You ask me about the vaccine. Each warehouse, they have a different standard operating procedure. But basically, people are now very health conscious. They are using this world. It's not Malaysian standard by KKM. You need to have vaccine and things like that. So I believe that public or private warehouse, they also comply to that requirement, because it is also for their own good, you know. All right, whatever things the government did, it is always for the best interest of the society, of the people, of the nation. All right, that's the answer. All right, thank you very much. Inshallah, we'll meet again by next week. All right, see you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank
Doctor.
you.
Doctor, regarding just now that question,
Okay.
yeah, so example, like for our COVID-19 vaccine, it's
Uh-huh.
actually staying in any public warehouses, or it's like how they being keep.
Come again.
Like for example, like the
Uh-huh.
vaccine for our COVID-19 vaccine, for the
Okay.
vaccine we will keep in the warehouse, is it, or keep it at anywhere?
Oh, okay. So for the vaccine, so you're asking about the vaccine. Vaccine is something which is under the government. So they have their own strict requirements. So they are being stored in the government warehouse. I don't know, maybe they employ public or private, but the thing is that, when you are dealing with vaccine, it is chemical, it is health related, and they have very strict rules and regulation. So because we want to make sure that the vaccine, they have their own expiry date, they have to be stored in certain temperature, all right? So these are the things that government have to be very careful on that. So the vaccine is not being simply that we can store in any warehouse. So they are being stored in government warehouse. All right, it should be strictly monitor lah. All right, so I believe that vaccine is not cheap. All right, and then government is not purchasing it or only one tube. They are purchasing it millions. So that is why they have to take a very extra careful on that particular product lah. All right. So my answer is that, all right. So the government will really look into it very seriously, because the vaccine is related to the people well-being, is really related to the economic growth, it is related to the nation development. So I believe when you are talking about how safe is the process of keeping the vaccine in the warehouse, it is very safe, because they have to make sure that this product is always in a tip top, in a very good condition. All right, so being monitored and also being safeguarded in a very highly safe measures. Okay,
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
thank you. Okay, right. Okay, kita tak ada final test sebab kita 100% coursework. Nak test ke? Natasha? Kalau Natasha nak, saya bagi kat Natasha seorang-seorang ke? Okay, alright.